We grew up pretty quickly. I had my first birthday party when I was 23 years old. I'd never celebrate my birthday before that.
Janet Jackson. What happens when one of the most private people in entertainment finally decides to open up? At 58 years old, Janet Jackson, the icon who has kept her personal life locked away tighter than a vault for decades, is finally speaking out. And what she's revealing has left the entire world absolutely stunned. From heartbreaking truths about motherhood to shocking confessions about her past, Janet is holding nothing back. So buckle up, because what you're about to hear will change everything you thought you knew about this legendary superstar. For those who have followed Janet Jackson's career, you know she's never been one to share the intimate details of her life. While other celebrities seem to post every moment of their day on social media, Janet has always been different. She's kept her private world carefully guarded, rarely giving interviews, and almost never discussing her personal struggles. But something has shifted. At 58, Janet is finally ready to tell her truth. And trust me, it's more powerful than any of us could have imagined. Let's start with the most emotional revelation that has fans around the world reaching for tissues. Janet recently opened up about being a mother, and the way she talks about her son Isa is absolutely beautiful. For years, people wondered why Janet kept her child completely out of the spotlight. Some criticized her for being too secretive. Others speculated about what she might be hiding. But now we understand. Janet has been protecting something incredibly precious, and her reasons are both touching and heartbreaking. In a rare interview, Janet revealed that becoming a mother at the age of 50 was the single most important thing she's ever done in her entire life. Think about that for a moment. Here's a woman who has sold over 100 million records worldwide. She's won countless awards, broken records, and influenced generations of artists. She's performed for millions of people and created some of the most iconic music videos in history. Yet with all of those incredible achievements, she says that nothing compares to being a mom. Janet described motherhood as having a beautiful impact on her life, and you can hear the emotion in her voice when she talks about her son. She said it's the biggest thing she's ever accomplished, bigger than all the fame, all the success, all the accolades. For someone who has achieved so much in the entertainment world, that's an incredibly powerful statement. It shows us a side of Janet we've never seen before, a vulnerable, loving mother who has found her greatest joy not on stage, but at home with her child. But here's where things get really interesting. Janet also revealed why she's been so protective of her son and why she rarely does interviews anymore. She admitted something that shocked a lot of people. She doesn't like speaking. She doesn't enjoy being in the spotlight when it comes to personal matters. For someone who has performed in front of massive crowds for decades, this might seem strange. But Janet explained that performing is different. On stage, she's in control. She's sharing her art, her music, her carefully crafted message. But in interviews, she feels exposed and vulnerable in a way that makes her deeply uncomfortable. This confession helps us understand so much about Janet's behavior over the years. Remember all those times she seemed quiet or reserved in interviews? People sometimes mistook that for being cold or unfriendly, but now we know the truth. Janet wasn't being distant. She was protecting herself and creating boundaries in a world that constantly tries to invade her privacy. In an industry where celebrities are expected to share everything, Janet made a different choice. She decided that some things, especially when it comes to her child, are simply too precious to put on display. Janet's relationship with her son came after a painful chapter in her life. She shares her child with her ex-husband, Qatari businessman Wissam Al-Mana. Their relationship and subsequent split were the subject of intense media speculation, but Janet stayed mostly silent throughout it all. Even now, she doesn't spend much time discussing the details of that marriage or its end. Instead, she focuses on the blessing that came from it, her beautiful son, Isa. What's truly touching is how Janet describes watching her son grow up. She talks about him with such tenderness and pride. Even though she keeps him away from cameras and rarely shares photos, you can tell from the way she speaks that he's her entire world. She recently celebrated his 8th birthday, and the rare glimpse she gave fans showed just how much love surrounds that little boy. Janet is giving him something she never fully had as a child, privacy, normalcy, and the freedom to just be a kid without the weight of fame pressing down on him. This brings us to another shocking revelation that Janet shared. She opened up about her own childhood in ways she never has before. Growing up as a member of the famous Jackson family meant that Janet was thrust into the spotlight from an incredibly young age. She was performing before she could even and fully understand what it meant to be famous. While millions of people around the world envied the Jackson children and their seemingly glamorous life, Janet now reveals that it wasn't always easy. In fact, it was often incredibly difficult. Janet talked about how strange it was to grow up without the normal experiences that other kids have. She didn't get to just be a regular child. Every moment was scrutinized. Every mistake was magnified. The pressure to perform, to be perfect, to live up to the Jackson name was enormous. And while she's grateful for the opportunities her family gave her, she also acknowledges that there was a cost. She lost parts of her childhood that she can never get back. This is why Janet is so fiercely protective of her own son. She knows firsthand what it's like to grow up in the public eye, and she's determined to give Isa a different experience. She wants him to have the childhood she never had, one where he can play, make mistakes, and discover who he is without millions of people watching and judging. It's a deeply personal decision, and now that she's explained it, most people understand and respect her choice. But Janet's revelations didn't stop with motherhood and childhood. She also opened up about something that many people have wondered about for years: her first marriage. At just 18 years old, Janet secretly married singer James DeBarge. The marriage was short-lived and was later annulled, but it's been the subject of rumors and speculation for decades. For years, Janet refused to discuss it in detail, but now she's finally addressing it head-on. Janet revealed that getting married so young was a mistake, but it was also something she felt she had to do at the time. She was trying to escape, to find independence, to create a life separate from her famous family. But she was just a teenager, and she wasn't ready for Mary, age or the complications that came with it. Looking back now, Janet sees that period of her life with compassion for her younger self. She was just a girl trying to find her way in an incredibly complicated world. What's remarkable about this confession is how honestly Janet discusses it. She doesn't make excuses or try to rewrite history. She simply acknowledges that she made a choice that didn't work out, and she's learned from it. This level of honesty and self-reflection is something we rarely see from celebrities, especially ones as private as Janet. It shows real growth and maturity, and it makes her even more relatable to fans who have also made mistakes and learned from them. Janet also addressed something that created a firestorm of controversy recently. In an interview, she made comments about political figures that many people found problematic. The backlash was swift and intense, with people questioning whether Janet had been misinformed or had expressed views that didn't align with her previous image. The situation became so heated that her management team had to release a statement clarifying that Janet's comments were based on incorrect information. What happened next is what really matters. Instead of doubling down or getting defensive, Janet took responsibility. She acknowledged that she had been misinformed and that she should have been more careful before speaking on topics she hadn't fully researched. In a world where public figures rarely admit mistakes, Janet's willingness to own up to being wrong was actually refreshing. It reminded everyone that even icons are human, and humans sometimes get things wrong. This incident also highlighted something important about Janet's character. She's not someone who follows the news obsessively or stays plugged into every political development. She admitted that she doesn't watch the news much, which explains how she ended up with incorrect information. While some people criticized this, others saw it as evidence that Janet is genuinely focused on her own life, her art, and her family, rather than getting caught up in the constant noise of media and politics. Now let's talk about what Janet is doing with her career at 58. While many artists her age are slowing down or retiring, Janet is still going strong. She recently launched a brand new Las Vegas residency that has fans traveling from all over the world to see her perform. The shows are spectacular, featuring all of her greatest hits and the incredible choreography and production values that Janet is famous for. Night after night, she proves that age is just a number and that she still has the energy, talent, and passion that made her a superstar in the first place. What's amazing about these performances is that Janet is still pushing herself artistically. She's not just going through the motions or coasting on past success. She's adding new elements to her shows, working with her son's favorite songs to create special moments, and connecting with audiences in ways that feel fresh and exciting. Fans who have seen the residency say it's like watching Janet at the peak of her powers, reminding everyone why she's considered one of the greatest entertainers of all time. Janet's career resurgence also includes new music collaborations. She recently appeared on a track with rapper Cardi B, showing that she's not afraid to work with younger artists and stay relevant in today's music scene. The collaboration was a hit, and it did something incredible. It made Janet the first black female artist to chart new songs in 5 different decades. Let that sink in. 5 decades of charting music. That's not just longevity, that's legendary status. This achievement puts Janet in a category by herself. Very few artists of any genre or gender can claim to have remained relevant and successful across 5 decades. It's a testament to Janet's incredible talent, her ability to evolve with the times, and her deep connection with multiple generations of fans. Young people who weren't even born when Janet first became famous are now discovering her music and becoming fans. That's the mark of a true icon. But despite all this professional success, Janet remains remarkably humble and grounded. She doesn't brag about her achievements or demand special treatment. Instead, she focuses on the work and on being the best mother she can be. She's found a balance that works for her, one where she can still perform and create music while also prioritizing her family and personal life. It's a balance that many celebrities struggle to achieve, but Janet seems to have figured it out. One of the most touching aspects of Janet's recent openness is how she talks about the impact her son has had on her perspective. She says that becoming a mother has changed everything about how she sees the world. She's more protective, more cautious, but also more grateful for every moment. She understands now what's truly important in life, and it's not the awards or the fame. It's the love she shares with her child and the memories they're creating together. Janet also revealed that he's thinking about her legacy in new ways. It's no longer just about the music or the performances. She wants to be remembered as someone who made a positive difference, who inspired people to be authentic, and who showed that it's okay to set boundaries and protect your peace. She wants her son to be proud of her, not just for her career achievements, but for the kind of person she was and the values she stood for. The way Janet talks about motherhood and her son has inspired countless fans, especially other mothers who are trying to balance their careers with raising children. Janet's message is clear. Nothing is more important than your kids. Not your job, not your public image, not what other people think. Your children deserve your full presence and protection, and that's exactly what Janet is giving her son. It's a powerful message in a world that often pressures parents, especially mothers, to do it all and be everywhere at once. Janet's decision to finally open up comes at an interesting time in her life. At 58, she's reached a point where she's comfortable with who she is. She's not trying to prove anything to anyone anymore. She's already proven everything she needs to prove. Now, she's simply living her life on her own terms and sharing what she wants to share when she wants to share it. There's a freedom in that, a confidence that comes from decades of experience and self-knowledge. Looking back at Janet's career, it's incredible to see how much she's accomplished. From her early days on television shows to becoming a global music superstar, Janet has done it all. She's broken racial barriers, pushed boundaries with her music videos, and influenced countless artists who came after her. Songs like Rhythm Nation, That's the Way Love Goes, and All For You aren't just hits, they're cultural touchstones that defined entire eras of music. But beyond the professional achievements, what's becoming clear now is that Janet's greatest strength has always been her resilience. She's faced public scrutiny, personal heartbreak, family drama, and professional setbacks, yet she's always come back stronger. She's never let the negativity break her spirit or change who she fundamentally is. That kind of strength is rare and admirable, and it's part of why so many people love and respect her. Janet's relationship with her fans has always been special, and that hasn't changed. Even though she's private, she's never forgotten the people who have supported her throughout her career. She shows her appreciation through her performances, through the care she puts into her music, And through those rare moments when she does open up and share parts of her life, fans feel that connection and that genuine appreciation, which is why they remain so loyal to her even after all these years. What Janet is teaching us through her recent revelations is that it's okay to keep parts of your life private. In an age of social media where everyone is expected to share everything, Janet is showing a different path. She's proving that you can be successful, relevant, and beloved without exposing every aspect of your personal life to the world. You can set boundaries, protect what's sacred to you, and still connect with people in meaningful ways. Her story is also a reminder that it's never too late to change your mind about how much you want to share. For decades, Janet kept almost everything private. Now, at 58, she's choosing to open up about certain things. That's her right, and it's happening on her timeline, not because of pressure from fans or media. This level of agency and control over her own narrative is something more celebrities should aspire to. Janet's journey as a mother is particularly inspiring for women who had children later in life. She became a first-time mom at 50, which is relatively rare, especially in the entertainment industry. Some people questioned whether she was too old or whether it was the right decision. But Janet has proven that age is just a number when it comes to parenting. She's as devoted, energetic, and loving as any young mother, and her son is clearly thriving under her care. The way she balances her career comeback with motherhood is also impressive. She's not choosing one over the other. She's finding ways to do both, to be the performer her fans love and the mother her son needs. She's showing that women don't have to give up their dreams or ambitions when they become mothers. With the right support and priorities, it's possible to honor both roles and excel at each of them. As Janet continues to navigate this new chapter of her life, fans are excited to see what comes next. Will she continue to open up more about her personal experiences? Will she write a book or create a documentary that tells her full story? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain. Whatever Janet decides to do, she'll do it on her own terms, with grace, dignity, and that signature Janet Jackson style that has captivated the world for over 4 decades. What's clear from all of Janet's recent revelations is that she's in a good place in her life. She's found peace, purpose, and joy in being a mother. She's still creating incredible art and performing at the highest level. She's learned from her mistakes and grown from her experiences. And most importantly, she's living authentically, true to herself and her values, regardless of what anyone else thinks. Janet Jackson at 58 is not slowing down. She's not fading away. She's not becoming irrelevant. Instead, she's showing the world that women can be powerful, successful, and vibrant at any age. She's redefining what it means to be a mature artist in the entertainment industry, and she's doing it with the same innovation and excellence that has defined her entire career. The girl who grew up in the shadow of her famous siblings has long since stepped into her own light, and that light burns brighter than ever. So there you have it. Janet Jackson's recent revelations have given us a deeper understanding of who she really is beneath the fame and the iconic status. She's a devoted mother who prioritizes her son above everything else. She's a woman who has learned from her mistakes and isn't afraid to admit when she's wrong. She's an artist who continues to push boundaries and break records well into her 50s. And she's a human being who values privacy, authenticity, and living life on her own terms. These revelations have left the world shocked, not because they're scandalous or controversial, but because they're so genuine and heartfelt. In a world full of manufactured celebrity personas and carefully curated social media images, Janet's honesty is refreshing. She's reminding us all that real life is complicated, messy, and beautiful all at once. She's showing us that it's okay to struggle, to make mistakes, to protect what matters most, and to keep evolving no matter how old you get. If you've made it this far, I want to thank you for joining me on this deep dive into Janet Jackson's recent revelations. It's clear that at 58, Janet is just getting started with this new phase of openness and honesty. She's teaching us valuable lessons about parenthood, privacy, authenticity, and resilience that go far beyond the entertainment world. She's proving that true icons aren't just talented performers, they're also real people with real struggles and real triumphs. Now I want to hear from you. What do you think about Janet's decision to finally open up about her personal life? Are you inspired by her journey as a mother? Do you respect her choice to keep certain things private while sharing others? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because I love hearing from you. And if you enjoyed this video and learned something new about Janet Jackson, please hit that like button. It really helps the channel grow and lets me know you want more content like this. Don't forget to share this video with any Janet Jackson fans in your life. Trust me, they'll want to hear about these shocking revelations. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you never miss another video. I've got so much more amazing content coming your way about your favorite celebrities, shocking revelations, and untold stories from the entertainment world. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.